Hi, Gail. Hi, Piccolo. Hi, Josie. I don't know if anyone can hear me or not. Can you hear me now? That little thing's not moving. And I saw the warnings that the screen would be mirrored. It is a little weird. I don't know, especially when I'm going to start flipping through books. Like, I don't know. But because of the Chromebook, I can't get Minicam on a Chromebook, I don't think, because Chromebook only does apps. You can't download programs. So, and same as autofocus, if it starts doing its thing, it's going to autofocus. There's no way I can adjust like this unless Logitech in the last month has come out with some app to control the camera. I can't do that either. So I guess it's just automatically recording. And I guess it's going to post to every freaking thing going. And I don't know if it's posting to Facebook or what's going on. I didn't even look the settings to see where it posts. Maybe I should check. I don't know about all these people on Facebook coming over. I have no idea what I'm doing on YouTube. I mean, from this screen, I don't know what you can do from this screen, if anything, anyways. But like volume wise, I have no idea. Like there's a little dot 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 thing on the bottom, and it's not dotting. It's not moving. I always watch YouTube on my phone, so I was kind of interested that this has a pop out chat. Does it have a pop out chat? If you're just watching somebody on YouTube, can you pop out the chat? I like to have it popped out because isn't it a little bit bigger? Ah. So Simon got me a new phone for my birthday, and so I've had a Samsung now for a lot of years. I had a Samsung Galaxy 2, 3, 4, 5. Did I have the 6? My last phone was it a 6? Yes. But he bought me I'll take the case off. It's a Hawaii. It's got a triple camera. I don't even know what a triple camera does. But it's supposed to be like the best camera. I said, okay, Simon. It's a P20. It's a 6-inch screen, a P20 something Pro. It is pretty cool. It does, but it's so hard to get used to. But I have it out here so that I'll show you some of the books that I got on Amazon on what do you call it? Kindle. I think Jean's eating. Hey Sherry. Hey Josie. So I don't remember the last time I streamed, what I showed, what I didn't show. I'm really just gonna show some of the swatching I've done. what I've done in a sketchbook and a bunch of books and catch up and chat. So if you don't like those type of listening to me talk, and I'm not probably not going to do any art, my hands, I don't know, lately, obviously works hard. It's the same crap, different day. Uh, I'd probably get fired just for saying that. Who knows who's watching me right now on YouTube Live? You don't have as much control as Ustream. I don't. Or I feel like on Ustream you can kind of hide a little bit. On YouTube, if you've got over 18,000 subscribers, you don't know how many people are going to show up or where they're going to come from. But anyways, I'm at a smaller store, a sister location, just a little bit further down the road. I've been there now for about 6 weeks. It's been very hard to get used to. Uh, the smallness of it, very, very confined space, and everything is backwards. Everything is backwards from the year and a half I spent at the big store, meaning, uh, so if you're in the drive-through window, right, at the first store, you turn to the right to, hit the computer, right, for people to pay and stuff. You hit your till. And at this store, it's on the left. When you're making coffees and drive-through, at the other store, everything went from right to left. At this place, everything's right, left to right. Like even the fridge door is on backwards. Like it was really, it took me a month. It's taken me a month to get used to. It's amazing how many, the muscle memory and everything, whether it's going to be like drawing and doodling or weightlifting and exercise, about muscle memory is huge. You don't realize the things you do automatically, uh, that your muscles just so used to doing. I've got issues under my feet over here, but we won't talk about that. Hey, Kathy, good to see you. I don't know how to add mods. So, but anyways, it's hard. The biggest thing for me is the flipping of shifts. So as you know, I've worked afternoons for a year and a half. Just a couple days ago, I've been there 2 years. It blows my mind. I don't know where these 2 years have gone, but what was I saying? I've worked there 2 years. Oh, and I work straight afternoons. I've worked 1 to 11 pretty much, for a year and a half, more than a year and a half. And I so being told I come in on a Friday, and I was told that on Monday I was going to a different store for good and that I'd be on day shift for good. I wasn't happy. I'm used to going to bed at 2 or 3 in the morning, not waking up at 3 or 4 in the morning. So it's a completely different schedule. I'm used to afternoons. I like the fact that I could stay up late, sleep in, get up, have 4 or 5 hours or 6 hours, before to go into my shift and then work. And on day shift, it's the opposite. I'm getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning, 3:30, depending if I start at 5 or 6 or what. And I go, I get up, I go right to work, and then when I get home, I'm tired, end up falling asleep. It's a vicious cycle. So anyway, that's my vent for that. It is what it is, but it's my wrists. I don't know, been the weather. My carpal tunnel is flaring up so bad the past month or so, but maybe it's more drawing. I don't know. Hey, Linda. So, but I've been doing it anyways through the pain. I've been wearing my braces and all that. And yes, I know I still need a surgery. It's the same thing. Obviously, I live in Canada, so I can get the surgery for free. It's the time off work afterwards, because I do work in the food industry, and if you're in braces, there's certain food safety rules and things you can do and can't do and all that. And I'd have to work that out with my boss. Um, but man, carpal tunnel's no joke, my friends. No joke. Uh, where would I share it? There's a little. What happens if I go to this little arrow here? Let's see. Oh. Uh, I'm not going to worry about that. Yeah, Gail, per hand. He wants to, for some reason they wanted said they would do them separately. I don't know if it's because of the severity or what kind of thing. I didn't go too much into um I didn't set up an appointment for surgery or anything, so I don't really know too much about it. Hey, Patricia. Now, this is the one thing that's going to frustrate me the most about streaming on YouTube versus Ustream is people's name changes. It I shouldn't say it bothers me, not the right word, but it drives me nuts because I don't know who's who. Like, so AJ, so today I saw both Dee Dee's and Janet's stream that AJ Justice, but that's not our quilting pot AJ, right? So I get all confused and who is who and which Patty is Patty, right? So Patricia, uh, are you like perfectly Patty? Like I don't know. So, oh, that makes sense. Dot I, by the way, Dorothy. Uh, so I'll just wait to see if Janet and Jean and maybe Dee Dee shows up before I start showing my sketchbook. Aha! Look, perfectly Patty. I got that right. I'm impressed. Welcome, Zoe. I've had my YouTube account now for I guess since 2010 or 9 or whatnot. I have neglected it ridiculously. There was a point there I was on a pretty big trajectory, but I just didn't. Uh, so I know it's exhausted. I'm just exhausted every single day, and I know it's an excuse and this and that, and I need to trying to be more positive, control what I can control, and stop being so ticked off about stuff that I can't. Just focus in on what I can. Well, I don't know. Anyone volunteering? So Gail AC, who were you on? Were you on Ustream? Hey, Janet. So I just go. Remember, I'm using an app. I think because it's on the Chromebook. I think. Oh, there's those dots that everybody talks about that I don't see on my phone. Put user in timeout. I'm clicking on Eileen's name. I'll just. Thanks, guys. I'll give a couple of you the power. Feel free to use it or not. I don't have as strict rules as of right now as I used to. I do, although I do have some rules. I don't put up with any type of crap on my channel. Okay, nice wrench. All right, so I guess it's already recording. What should I do? Do you want to see what well, let's just talk a little bit about watercolor before I go into all this drawing stuff I've been doing lately. So since I've last streamed, which has been a few months, I haven't bought too many. Well, I haven't bought too many watercolor things, and here I have these sets plus the iridescent Paul Reubens ones. So I guess I did have bought a little bit of. So let's start with these because people are talking about them a lot. And I was also one of the ones, like if you've watched the Frugal Crafter Lindsay channel, I also saw them on Instagram, right? Scrolling on Instagram. I love me some Instagram. And I was like, it's gimmicky, right? So it's fanned out like this, and they show this watercolor and they show this girl with like a brush with the brush, and I'm like, that looks cool. Like the aesthetic of this, like the gimmick, I guess I can't think of a, I don't know if I can think of a better name word to describe it than gimmick, but isn't this so fun? Just the look of it. So, but then, like other people send their videos, you click on it, it's like $70. I'm like, what? Even though it's cool, and yes, I've paid big bucks for quite a few different types of watercolors. Uh, you know, I waited. Well, I didn't wait. I finally, because I bought these from Meeden. Now, Meeden or on or me Meeden. Meeden, they're the ones that have like they sell empty pans and palettes. That's mostly like how I first found them. I have a ton of the 48, like these 48 half pan palettes. I bought a bunch off Amazon from this brand. And then they're the ones that sell the rose. It's in the living room, or else I'd show you, but they sell the rose mixing palette, porcelain mixing palette. Anyways, the odd time I will go on to Amazon and I will just like click on Meeden and see what their products are. So I saw that they had this, that, you know, and I was like, oh no. So I had to buy it. I think this one is a 33 set. There's a bigger one, there's smaller ones. I didn't get the biggest one because they didn't have it in stock, but it had to come from China. And I wanted it now, of course. Laurel, my Laurel, how are you? Oh, it's good to see everyone. I apologize if I sound, sometimes I think that when I'm in chats, I don't know if everybody, other streamers think this to themselves, that I react differently to different people. And this doesn't mean that I don't love you guys. It's just some people I haven't seen for a very long time. Other people, like, for example, Laurel was one of, my besties. Like, so it's no offense to anybody. I love you all. Anyway, back to this. Well, so when I got it, and then once I ordered it, and then I saw Lindsay's video, and I saw everybody else start rolling them in. My first impression was how thin they are. Like, I don't know if what can I compare it to? Oh, well, this is the pencil everyone seems to have. They're thin, my friends. Like this, thinner than the clip, or as thick as the clip, maybe. They're pretty thin, and they are. I open them and they're kind of. I don't know. Plasticky is not the right word, but it is definitely a hard pen. It's definitely a hard pen. Hey, CB. Anyone else I missed? I have to get used to this whole chat situation. And I'm not even looking at my screen because everything backwards is going to bug the crap out of me. Hey, Kimberly. So it is kind of cool, though. There's different sets. There's 3 different sets, or like color found, like, okay, let me regress. This original set, there's like 18, 33, 24, all different, numbers. Then they have 2 more sets. One's pink. This is the pastels. And then there was another one. But the third one has duplicates from these sets. This set, the pastel one, does not have any duplicates from the originals. So this is, and I ordered this one from Amazon as well, from Meeden, but it came from China. It came from Meeden. What? Laurel is moving? So I just got these, and then Zan just watched them the other day. I just got them on, I don't know, Wednesday maybe. So I swatched them. I swatched them the exact same day that Zandra did. So I guess that was Sunday. No, must have been last Wednesday then. But this one has a palette in the back. So this one is 18 colors. So it has the 4 strips, and it has the palettes in the back. And this is like some type of foam thing here. Random foam thing. Now the brushes, I haven't compared them to all my other watercolor brushes, but they look familiar, whether they're the Jane Davenport ones or Prima, like the tips. I'll have to get out my watercolor brush thing, but I haven't tried them. They're still empty. But the original one, does not have a palette at the back. They have this tiny, tiny palette thing here. So they let's look at the swatches. So I have a couple different. If this is not the swatch one, I'm gonna be upset. Oh, okay, never mind. It's right here. All right, I have two different ones. I found, and I said that the last time, which was a while ago, that that's awesome, Laurel. Congratulations. Uh, this Canson Mixed Me XL instead of the mixed media journals that I know and love, and oh, already a craft land. This is a mixed media, and they now sell the watercolor in the 7x10-inch book, and I love the 7. I really like the size of the 7x10-inch book, so I was happy to find that. I found them at Michael's. I have a few of them. So, anyways, I've been doing some of my swatches in here, and hopefully the color's okay. And I guess I can turn on one more light to see if. I don't know if I need that ring light that everybody is talking about or not. I have a craft room. All it is a storage room. Let's be real. Everything I do is on the couch, pretty much, unfortunately, which is stupid. But anyway. Okay, so these are Holbein's watercolors. This is an 18 set. And I was just playing around. Some of them schminky, ready to be swatched, random stuff. So, we'll not look at that one yet. That's next. So I swatched them according to the way they look on the palette. So these first three, then the second set, third, all the way down. Now, obviously, this is a quick one. I also did it in another book that's not anywhere close to me. But they're not so vibrant. I guess they're not bad. I haven't tested them at all. All I've done is swatched. I haven't given you my full research. My first impression is that, hey, Shauna, if you like them, it's the gimmick of it. It's the coolness of it. I mean, who doesn't like the look of this? So there's nothing special about them other than they look cool. They're in a fan palette like that. So, but these are Mission Gold. Now, see, look at the difference in vibrancy between a Mission Gold. Like, I don't know if my camera's picking that up, but yeah, they're small for travel. They're cool. I think they're awesome. I'm glad I bought them, but there's nothing special other than the delivery. They're definitely not artist grade like some of these. What did I do? Oh, gouache. I've been thinking a lot about gouache lately too, and all I have is Reeves and cheap Royal Lanicle. So I did swatch some of that. This is a different palette that I have, but see, those are all artist grades. I don't know what I was swatching there. Same as this. I don't know what I was doing. A whole bunch of nothing. These are the Paul Reubens. 2 cents about Paul Reubens. I really thought it was strange, and I guess I'm the only one that they came wrapped in each individual pan was wrapped in this foil wrapper, a sticker. And I have a few pan sets, and never has anything ever come wrapped in a sticker. Like the adhesive was actually on the watercolor pan. Like it was, some of them were stuck. But not a big deal. I mean, you wet it and it's gonna go away. But do you lie, the Paula? Lions call me a liar. So, yeah, they are nice for travel. They're cute. I mean, they are cute. But the Paul Reubens, so that was the first. I was like, that's interesting. And they were big bucks. And I said about the Paul Reubens, they've been in my cart for months. And on Amazon Canada, the 24 set is $80, 70 something. And the exact, Laurel, not that one. I didn't bring the tin in here. The Paul Rubin is a brand name of a watercolor. They're Paul Reubens with an S. They're pearlescent watercolors and iridescent watercolors. They're not metallics, and I think that a lot of people are frustrated with them because they're thinking of metallic watercolors, like, our fancy, our Calero Finetech ones and such. They're not iridescent. I think are different. Hi, Glenda. Welcome, Graces. So I think so I just swatched them. I put all the stickers in here, of course, and I swatched all of them over, like it was just like a black Sharpie. I think just some black pen. I don't know, waterproof pen. But they're interesting. Now they are like, if you look at this one, this Symphony Blue Pearlescent watercolor, it's beautiful. You'll see later in my sketchbook when I start painting over black with them. I just think that I regress again. So they've been in my cart for a long time, way before Z bought them, so this is all her fault. Hi, Judy. But they were big bucks. And first the 12 set, even the 12 color set on Amazon Canada was $48. And I don't even know how I stumbled across them, probably searching for the Finetechs or whatnot. But so I just had them in my cart because I couldn't justify $50 for 12 pans. I mean, well, I could if it was schminky and all the other. I have bought, pans that are that expensive. But anyways, hi, Ali. So then I saw Zandra bought them, and so I said, okay, that's it. So I got them, and I ended up buying the 24 set, which again was $70. But it was my birthday. I turned 40 last month, the big 40. I don't feel any different. Everyone at work thinks I'm 28, 29, and they mean it. It's not just so I feel good that I don't. I can say I'm 40. Age means nothing to me, and I've said it a million times. We've been streaming together a long time, and whether you're in your 20s or 70s, I feel that we are all the same age. So anyways, some of these lighter colors, like pearl platinum pearlescent, so they're just different than metallic paints. This one's kind of nice, but see, I don't have any Kramers or any handmade watercolors or anything other to compare them to, other than maybe iridescent blue, Daniel Smith's iridescent blue. So I'm still playing around with them. I have to research a little bit more. They are shiny. They are beautiful. I just have to do a little bit more research. So these are the pastel ones. I put the wrong brush in the wrong thing. So this one is called Superior Pastel Watercolor, 18 colors. Again, on Amazon, it's by Meaden. Yeah, you can mix them with regular watercolors. Looking up for a second. So my first impression with these were that they're pretty muted. I don't know, I guess what I was expecting. They're pastels, so of course they're going to be muted. Hi, Donna. Still 12 between your ears. They're pretty muted. Now, again, it was a quick swatch. It wasn't anything fantastic. Some of them are very similar colors. I'll have to go back and watch Zandra's stream again. And the white had a little pink in it. My brush still had some pink in it. This one down here, this color, this last one, it's like almost like a gray. So anyways, I haven't played with them. I bought them. I swatched them. That's as much research as I've done. So I need to do a little bit more research. And I did it again. I put the big one in the small one. But they're fun. They're just a fun set. Now, a watercolor set I do not recommend you buying. Again, I look at Meaden. I just search their name on Amazon and see what comes up. like see any new products they've come out with. That's how I found the awesome rose porcelain palette and stuff. So they had, and they have more than one, but more than one set, but they've come out with their own branded watercolors, and I don't think they manufacture them. They're just branding them. And I saw this tin. They have, I think, a 12 set, a 24 set, and a 48. Uh, and the 48 set, I bought the 48 set in Canada. I want to say, if I'm right, somebody might have to correct me. It's cheap. It was $39.99. I want to say. Comparative to another 48 color set of watercolors, $39.99 is pretty affordable, especially in Canada. So if it was $39.99 Canadian Amazon, on US Amazon, it's probably $28.99 or something like that. So they came like this. I unwrapped them. They had their little labels. This made me laugh though, or kind of giggle to myself. And while you can tell that they're, to be honest, I bought them to see if they were, again, the same as Jane Davenport's and Prima's. Because all these little half pan sets that are coming out, there's so many different manufacturers. The same as the set that Zandra was using last night that looks like a koi watercolor, Secure koi watercolor sets. To me, they look like that. They're knockoff of Secure koi watercolors. I don't know, maybe they're exactly the same and rebranded, but they look like that to me. So, and if you go on Amazon, the set that Zandra bought, you can buy that same set, kind of like our Ohuhu pens and all of our gel pens. Everything's just rebranded. It's the same manufacturer in China, and all these companies are just putting their name on it. So that's what, but not nearly the quality of the koi. Yeah, of the one that Zandra is showing. And you can go on Amazon and see that same type of set that look, and I compare it to Secure koi. It's just the way the container, just the way that their palettes look with the sponge and that, it looks just like Secure koi setup. But you can, Zandra had a certain brand, but if you go on Amazon, you can find a ton of different brand names, the same thing with different brand names on it. So that's what I was thinking of this one. So, but when I, and I'll see if this will zoom for me. Let me see. All right, so let's look at this. This is Reubens. It gives a number. I'm trying to read this backwards. Does that say 797? And it has the little, this is what makes me laugh. Can anybody see anything funny about this? Is it just me? So they're trying to be, this is solid watercolor. Sorry, it's going in and out. So they're trying to look professional because it shows the little transparency box or opacity, to say whether something opaque, semi-transparent, whatnot. But every one of them is empty. Every one of them showing they're transparent. Hey, Jan. Every one of them, like the stars, lots of companies use stars for light fastness. Every one of them is 3 stars. So, that I had a giggle myself when I saw that. So, they're pretty bright colors. That does have a white in there, which some people don't like. They're in this is the layout. The way that you see it here is the way it was laid out in the tin. Now, I don't know if they got them kind of mixed up, or like, who knows where these cheaper watercolor sets and stuff, the manufacturers, maybe they don't put the pans in the exact same spot every time when they're filling, when they're producing it, they're filling the tin to be sold. Hi, Jen. So like the blues, like random browns up here and then blues, and I don't know. Anyway, so they look like this. They're when you're painting with them, if you compare them to like a Jane Davenport or they're different. They're definitely have a different consistency. I think it's mostly because these are meet-ins. Yeah. Like, as you've noticed with or you may have noticed with the Prima and the Jane Davenport watercolors, some of them are pretty chunky. They're kind of, well, chunky, I guess, is the only word. These ones are more plasticky. They're not plastic. They're smooth like that. The actual pan, if I can zoom in on one, like this one, the actual pan is smooth. And when I use them, I don't get a lot of color from it. But I guess, I don't know. What am I trying to say? I haven't played with them enough yet to form an opinion. But if you're looking for a decent, you want 48 colors of watercolor, pretty vibrant, most of them. I mean, I don't know what you guys on my camera. Look how crooked that is. Something isn't right with my camera, but okay, you can complain to me later. The medium's definitely different, Debbie, for sure, for sure. Is Laurel leaving? Bye, Laurel. Good to see you, my friend. Don't be a stranger. Although I'm the one that usually ends up being the stranger because I'm introverted like that. But hey, if you want all these colors, like it even has, like it says, this one's ultramarine blue. That's not ultramarine blue. This is medium blue. So the names again don't really correlate, but there are some fun things. Like this one is a light violet. It's not very often you get kind of like a light violet color in a set. So hey, 48 colors. And the tin alone, guys. What's the tin? An empty Medine tin with 48 pans. In Canada, I think it's $22. $22.99, I want to say. So sometimes just buying it for the tin. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. All right, that's about all I have to say about watercolors. I see all you guys making watercolors. I want to buy some of Zandra's. Yeah, for $18.99. Thanks, Debbie. Debbie says they're $18.99. For $18.99, I mean, you can't beat it, right? Just the tin. Or is the tin $18.99 with half pans? Anyways, you're not getting the watercolor. The watercolor is pretty affordable if you consider, what you would spend on just buying the pans. All right, so what I'm going to do is show you the sketchbook, and then I'll go through the books that I've bought recently. No, I lied. Let's keep on the topic of watercolor because I have a few watercolor books I bought that I don't think anyone's shown. Not a few, just one. One that people haven't seen. So this just came out. I got it last week. I don't know. Again, like you end up on Amazon and you're clicking on one thing and this suggestion comes up and next thing you know, you're seeing all these books. And hey, Michelle. So this one somehow came up. It's called Watercolor with Me in the Forest by Dana Fox. And it is on, I'll read the back. It says, unleash your creativity with 50 no-sketch watercolor projects. From a classic dogwood rose to a sly fox to feathers that take on a dreamy quality, you can create polished artwork in just a few easy steps. No sketching required. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but what it's saying, because it says something about the paper. The paper in here. Yeah, I should have read the whole thing. In Watercolor with Me in the Forest, Dana provides light outlines of each project, and every page is printed on a premium art paper. So you can focus on the watercolor techniques, wet on dry, wet on wet, painting for ink and wash. So it's called premium. I want to get that right. Premium art paper. Now this premium art paper, to me, looks exactly like the paper in a Jane Davenport journals. The texture of it, let's see if it shall focus for me. You see the texture? It's exactly, now thickness wise, I don't have one of her books in here with me, do I? I'm looking. The one I finished? Let's see. But this came out like literally last week or the week before. It's a brand new book. So this one's filled, so it doesn't have any empty pages to show. I mostly want to check out let's see. Here's my so scientific test. They feel about the same thickness. They have the same texture. It's very similar. Now I haven't watercolored in here yet or anything, so I'll let you know when that. But it has different paper in it for sure. Let's see my camera. I'm going to take a drink. All right. So the premise of the book, it has instructions on the right-hand side and a place for you to play on the other. So for this one, sorry, my camera, I'm not in screen, am I? Because this is hitting here and this is off the screen. Dang it. And I don't know what is going on because this thing is backwards over here. And now it's crooked. Ah, well. Anyways, you can see it mostly. So it has instruction over here, place over here. Now, just like the Jane Davenport journal, every sheet, like the pages of the book, the texture is different. There's no order. There's no order. Like, for example, you'd think that, okay, if every, how am I explaining this? Let's rewind. In the Canson Watercolor XL journal, this side is the paper. The right-hand side, when you first open, is the good side of the paper. And the other side is not, right? So you always know which is the good side of the paper. In the Jane Davenport book, you'll look at the texture of the paper on every page is pretty much different. That's like this one. So not every back side of the paper, even though it's the side that you're supposed to use, there's no like right or wrong side or whatever. But if that makes any sense. So they have the little instruction, and then she has the very tiniest, faintest, and again, I don't know what you guys are seeing at all. I'll have to watch my recording later and see what it looks like. Just the faintest of lightest sketches for you to, these pens drive me nuts, for you to try it beside it. It's not about quality control. It's just, I don't know. Anyway, caterpillars. Again, you see there's just a slight drawing. So it's a beautiful book. And it's one of those ones, am I going to fight myself? It's not very often that I actually, do something in the book. And this one's going to be hard. Well, this one I'm going to have to try it, at least, because I need to see the paper. I need to test the paper. You know me, I'd have to know now that it looks like the paper that's in the Jane Davenport art journal. So now, I have to I have to try it. I'll have to see if it test it to see if it is like that. So I'll just quickly flip through it. And it's nice. It shows you which colors too, right? This ladybug, crimson, Indian red, ivory black. So for example, this one, supplies, a round brush, size 6 works well, 3 colors, white pencil, black ink pen, optional. Start by filling the body of the ladybug with crimson red. Make this a light wash as will just be the base for the following layers. Let the base layer dry. Apply a second layer, this time adding more pigmented Indian red to the top center of the back. So I guess it would be this. Using less water will result in higher pigmentation. Let the paint dry again, then fill the black portions such as the head and the legs with either ivory black paint or an ink pen. Make sure to leave the white details of the head untouched. Add spots to the back and finish by adding a few white highlights as the red pictured. It's a little lesson on glazing. Clovers, flowers. It's a beautiful book. Like I said, the paper is very cool. And if it is like the Jane Davenport paper, it'll be fun to work on. And like the sketch is already done, but these sketches are so simple that to me, looking at that is inspiring. I can look at that and say, oh, I'm going to try to draw this just quick, simple sketch in my own book and then color it in. But look at these. If you're going to end up drawing, or sorry, flip the page, read that. So if this is what the outcome is, I mean, that's a pretty simple sketch. In my mind, I'd think that if I was going to paint something that looked like this, I'd need a heck of a lot more detailed of a sketch than this basic line art. So it's just that's inspiring me, how they drew this tiny little sketch. So now that section was wet on dry. Now this is wet on wet. Cute little bird. Look at him. Chickadee. Some feathers. You know me. It says the wet on wet. maple leaf, snail, hummingbird. And I can't remember what the price was. To me, it didn't matter. There's some things that, well, I think it was a pre-order price, to be honest, because it just came out. So I'm not sure what the price of it is now. So it's a really cute book. Then this one, oh, you can draw a trout. Look how simple that sketch is. I mean, that to me, that looks doable. Painting fur. Again, lots of places to try it. Bumblebee. Probably going too slow because I have lots that I want to show today, so I better start moving. Skunk. So it's nice. Like I said, you have a sketch on the side. You have the fully completed project. You have the colors. This one's raw umber, burnt umber, Indian red, ivory black. And then the step-by-step doesn't show any step-by-step outs, but it gives you the step-by-step in the process. Butterfly, salamander, tree frog, grasshopper. This is ink and wash. I don't know how I skipped over an ink and wash. I guess that means you take the sketch, we're going to ink it, and then paint it. How did I miss something? I missed something here. Yeah, ink and wash, also called line and wash, is sketching out your subject in ink before applying quick and light washes. Ink and wash, or, is pen and ink or ink and wash. That definitely interests me. So anyways, this was a fun book. It says $22.99 US. But of course, usually on Amazon, they're cheaper. Watercolors Me in the Forest. Pretty fun. So I guess I'll just show the sketchbook and then we'll talk about some of the books that I've bought and what those books have, how they've influenced me in the sketchbook. Oh, real quick. I did get this last week as well. I haven't seen Dee Dee or anyone show this new flow book. It just came out last week. Hey, Scoopy. Oh, Michelle. Soon enough. So it's a flow book. Creativity Takes Courage. Now, it doesn't have as many things that come out of it. And I haven't read it all the way or whatnot, but it is one of those books, like the book that takes time, that has a lot of writing or spaces for you to write and self-reflect. But they have the pop-outs in these ones are like little books. So this is a quietness diary. There is some postcards. There is a frame. So kind of like a viewfinder, I imagine. Oh, it's stuck. I bought this on Amazon sight unseen. So I don't know if I saw it in person whether I would have bought it. This other book is My Daily Project. I think they believe in there's a lot of talk in here about 30-day projects. This is, a 32-day project book. So I can't give too much. And then these are pictures. This is images to fall asleep to. Your bedroom should be a place to wind down and relax. Make a nice destination at the end of the day. Hang art that makes you feel peaceful. So I don't know why. It's really weird. Why would Einstein? Is this Einstein? Not Einstein. Oh, I don't know. But why would this isn't peaceful to me? I don't know if I'd want this hanging in my room, in my bedroom. Am I the only one? That's kind of weird. Marilyn Monroe. And then lastly, I don't even know who this person is. I don't know if that's saying something. Or who these people are. We are the music makers and we are the dreamers of dreams. Arthur William Edgar O'Shaughnessy. So that's strange. But anyways, I haven't finished reading this. I just thought that I'd show that I got a new flow book. And I'm not sure. I should have waited. There's some things, especially because, I don't make very much money. And what I do, so I should have waited to see somebody else buy it because I'm not sure I would have paid the 20 something dollars for it if I had seen the review first. All right. Mick Jagger. It was Mick Jagger? And who? Anyway, okay. So I don't know why. I'm trying to think. So the past little while, I've been watching a lot of YouTube on sketchbooks and drawing and all that type of stuff. I think it started. I don't even know. Has Dee Dee been playing? Sometimes these things just come up, and why I don't know why for the past month and a half I've been obsessed with sketchbooks or thinking about sketch and watching video and watching people sketch and buying books and digging out all my old books. Um, about drawing and sketching. I guess I go through these phases, but for some reason, the past couple months, I've been really looking at that stuff, and so I broke out my sketchbook. Now I've had a couple different ones. This one you'll see that when it started, and I also have the big Mamba Jamba ginormous sketch this book. We'll look at that maybe later. The big boy. Um, Yeah, I go in waves. Watercolor, sketching. I don't know what the drawing aspect, what happened. Now, see, if I was doing more of a sketchbook, I guess I'd figure out why. What pointed me in the direction of watching Bailey J. And I think that's what it started. Like, I saw the 600-page sketchbook where she did that slam, where she did 600 pages of that ginormous sketchbook, which is way bigger than this 8.5 by 11 in a month. Oh, not a chance. Anyways, and it snowballed. So this is an older one. You'll see drawings. I'll start from the beginning. I put some stickers on it. These are from Jane Davenport's book, The Creative Girl. And I have other stickers here. Oh, from a flow book, I think. So this one, originally, let's see. On my computer screen, it looks shadow. My whole screen just looks dark. This doesn't look white at all. My hands don't look light. It's dark. So I don't know what you guys are seeing. I'll have to think about it later. So originally, I started this September 2014. And then I tried to restart it January 2018. And then I need to write again, restarted, restarted August something. Okay. So back then, and this for sure I know was pushed from Dee Dee. Dee Dee, of course we all know, but so if you don't, is Inkwell, Inkwell. Why? Where did that A come in? So back and Danny Gregory. So here I was thinking about Danny Gregory because you know him and his draws, everyday stuff, and I take notes. This is my old Samsung phone. It says September 11th with my new phone. So TV changer. Do you think it's TV changer is one of those things? These are one of those things that depending on families, I love to hear what people call. For example, like some people call this, like my family's always called it a TV changer. Some people call them clickers, remote control, TV button. Like it's interesting how many remote people call them. Different families call them different things. Well, we always called it a TV changer. What did you guys call yours? So again, I did this back in 2014. Fiber one bar. This was oh look, Jean was jelly plating, so I did a little thumbnail. I even put her little music scrap because she uses many cans and she puts that little watermark thing in there. Just remote. Everyone says remote. I always say TV changer. This one, so this was done September 14th, 2014. So we're talking 4 years ago. It is 4 years ago. I was sketched my hand. This is my Swedish chef. I love this. I love that. It was a meme I saw on Instagram. The Swedish chef. Oh, my Starbucks mug. And then I write so I drew this with a Sharpie pen. So again, but this 4 years ago, September 13th, Dee gave us homework, and she um, told us to get a quote and sketch the quote, kind of like mind map the quote. So the quote I chose was, "The dream is free, the hustle is sold separately." Dee Dee challenged us to do this mind map of a quote. So then I put dreams, and you can see all this stuff. Um, so here's how my mind map it works. So dream, I put wish, and then I thought of one of those things that you blew when you made a wish, and then it reminded me of Romeo and Juliet with the flamingo that that he spits when he tries to blow those things. And so my mind, same thing over there, the hustle, like, so hustle, work, what I do to hustle. It turned into work, to paint, to art journaling, journal artista, travel journal, to Newfoundland, this was just before I went to Newfoundland, which I drew Newfoundland, and then icebergs and little sketch. So it's just the way my mind worked based on the hustle and dream, how I mind map those. Heat gun. I try to do a tiny attacher. Random stuff, swatching, and you'll see I'm still doing that now. Random things. Okay. Everybody knows, and this Dee Dee, so she flipped through her book. She flipped through her, sketchbook when we were doing this a while ago, and she had Muppets, and that's why there's Muppets in here. So this is a lesson, and I've shown this more than once before, but when you draw something, right, on a page, and then you just decide to draw something else on top of it, and don't pay attention to what was behind it, and strange things can happen, and sometimes things that you don't want to have happen. So when I posted it on like Twitter and Instagram and Facebook, people are like, "You have a dirty mind." I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's Bunsen and Beaker. It's Beaker." So I drew this face first. I drew this face, okay? And then I decided I was going to draw a beaker just on the bottom, but my perspective, or how big, right? And it just perfect. I don't know how. I obviously started like with the head and not the eyes, because somehow so that just turn the page next time. If you're gonna do something like this, because then if you take this away, it's Beaker, a perfectly nice drawing of Beaker. Oh boy. And it even made it look like a stick figure with the legs, even though that's Beaker's mouth. The way that it perfectly lined up, like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with me? So, but it was funny when because I didn't see it at all. I was so impressed at my Beaker drawing. I didn't see that at all until I posted it, and people are like, your mind is like a 12-year-old boy. And I'm like, what? And then I like saw it, right? I'm like, dirty minds. so I drew Miss Piggy. This is Hamish or Hamish. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's somebody I've followed on Instagram for a while. I still do, and Hamish has a little pug he's missing an eye. So was taking a bath. I just happened to, I had to draw it. It was so cute, the picture. Oh boy, random stuff. Back to watercoloring. Try to draw that face. This is these were Stampin' Up markers. So again, 2014, we were talking about that the brush lettering, like we used to do back in forever ago in the scrapbooking days. So I was just doing a couple faces. I was numbering them. I wrote down what pens. Those aren't from any references. So this is off, way off. Derwent Graphic Tints. This one I followed. Dina Wakely has videos, so you can really tell. When I look at this, I see Dina Wakely all over this. Is that why we need to hold them up? It's a big no. Yeah. So I was watching a Dina Wakely from the Artist Network. Random. None of those have any references. Here's some brush lettering I did then. This is April 9th, 2015. Crayola marker doodles, and then some brush stuff. 2015. I guess they're all kind of self-portraits, but this is Rachel added all over these doodles on top of that. She gave him a beard, I guess. Gave her a beard. That was a while ago. Today's decisions determine tomorrow's reality. So again, we're still back in 2015. What's another thing here? April 24th, 2015. I drew this, if you remember, for our wonderful, sweet Vicky. May she rest in peace. When we did I did an art journal page tribute to her. We did some. No, I lie. That was the same time though. This was for Paris. When Paris had the terrorist attack, they were peace lilies. That's why I drew this one. And so this was January 8th, 2018. So this ends 2016. I had some brush markers. So now we're getting current. So I'm using it more now, like you're gonna see a lot of writing. It's not just all sketches. It's messy. There's notes. There's writing. There's drawing. That's how I like it to look. So it's not just I'm not. My sketchbooks aren't just gonna have one drawing on a page. It's gonna be a lot of writing, a lot of ideas, and a bunch of stuff. It's just a place to play. Is how I'm kind of going. What appeals to me, anyways. Oh boy. Hey Pam, good to see you. So here I was, thinking about what are some of the things that do I want to work on daily? How many different books and stuff do different, art journals and sketchbooks and watercolor journals and all this stuff, like how many do I really want at a time? Some goals, thinking about that type of stuff. This is when I was testing one of those metallic brush pen. I was trying to wear it. I didn't try, I wore it out. Random stuff. Difference between art journals and sketchbooks. Sketchbooks more drawing with rough. Art journals mixed media. This is to me, not to anybody else, what I think an art journal is. You'll see some gel pens. I sketched this little. Okay, here's where we start talking about books. This is a 24 color set of Prismacolor I keep by the couch. Of course, I have, all the colors of Prismacolor and sets and whatever, but this is just one that I had there, so I was sketching it and doing a couple spheres, and then I sketched this little guy. Bear down. I don't know if that's gonna focus or not. I think I used all that's just Prismacolor pencil. That was like right from Prismacolor. There was no pencil sketch or whatever. Or what? That's not focusing at all, is it? Well, my hands shake, so that's another bad news. He looks kind of humanistic. Humanistic, is that a word? Yeah, break away from the I don't know what to do mindset. Carla Sondheim. I was taking notes on the Carla Sondheim books. Use whole arm to draw. I was doing a couple things from the syllabus. That girl's hair's went way out of control. I saw this, and does it say these are Touch 5 alcohol markers and a Pilot G2 pen? And I saw this in a book, a sketchbook, like a sketch prompt book. It's just the alcohol marker, and then I just outline it. After I just scribble with it, then I outline it with a black pen, just a fine point pen, and I shaded some in here. It was just kind of fun. It was cool to look at. And then on the back, it shows, of course, shows through because they're alcohol markers, and then I outlined some of them on the back as well. And you can just like outline part of it and see different things. It's kind of cool. That was fun. So I put a little flag here because this is when I kind of then seriously started. This was, I guess it's because I was about to turn 40. I read Syllabus by Linda Berry on August 16th. Now I know you've already seen it today. Janet showed it to you. But I have read, so I read Syllabus, Linda Berry, word for word, every page on August 16th. I took notes. I did some illustrated notes. You'll see here. Very inspired. I then bought her second book, which I'll have here, or not her second, another one of her books, which I've read cover to cover, every single drawn word as well. Oh yeah, Michelle. So definitely said that. She puts in a lot of Emily Dickinson poems into her books. Syllabus is a book about her class. I'll show you when I'm going to show it to you in a minute anyways. But so I wrote the Emily Dickinson poem. I did tweet this today. These are some notes on when I was reading Syllabus by Linda Berry. Ivan Brunetti, she talks a lot about him and his way of doodling or drawing. So that was his little way. Her journaling process, which is, so every day she makes her students do 7 things to write down 7 things they did, 7 things they saw, something that they heard, and then draw something. So this day I worked 5 to 11. I watched a lot of YouTube and art videos, and I worked in here. I saw a toaster guard fly up at Caitlin like a ghost. Oh yeah, that was the morning. Turned the toaster on. I guess the metal like contracted or expanded. Anyways, it flew off. It was like a ghost. And then a coyote that morning, because I had to walk to work at 4 a.m. in the morning. My friends, a coyote went right past me. I mean, right past me. I didn't know what to do. I guess it was docile. Anyway, and I drew the ketchup bottle. And it's French's. That's because Simon didn't buy me. That's a blasphemy right here. Ketchup has to be Heinz. Let's just say. So a few things there. That was day 1. And so then I decided that every day, so now every day I've worked on my sketchbook, I've hand drawn the date, or at least the day of the week, in lettering. So this was Monday, August 20th. I just did some borders, and I did pen work inside the border. This one is done with, I colored it with the Pilot, the erasable highlighter. And I was just writing day 2, how to draw a simple bird. This is from the book, Let's Make Some Great Art. So it showed you the steps 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I just did all these little birds. And then by the time you got to the bottom, they were cute. I really liked how these guys came out. But I started up here with this and this one and this one, and then, so that was fun. I did in here still. Hold on. Let's see something. So this sketchbook is just I guess I should have said it earlier, it's from Curry's, which is an art store here in Canada. It's like their brand. I think the paper is supposed to be £60. I forget. It's not an expensive one. I think that they're right now, because of back to school sale, I think they're really cheap. Buy one, get one. So anyways, there was a tree outside my house, and I took the leaves from the tree, and then I drew them. So this is from Life. These leaves, a little water. I should add a little bit more darks here. There's not enough darks on that one. And then I was looking at pens again. I do a lot of testing that ended up into doodling, and I was practicing, like hatching in here. A couple random buildings. So this is random stuff, my friends. Like I said, maybe this isn't how you would use a sketchbook, or it's not just one sketch, and you'll probably say, Paula, there's not a lot of drawing in there. It's all swatching and doodling, but you know. So Tuesday, I was doing some graphite stuff. These are Home Cube brush watercolor pens. I think they're very similar to the ones Didi was using today. Again, just something, the same cheap art supply from China. I shouldn't say cheap. I should take that back. The same art supply from China, just rebranded. So I was, playing with those. Then I got out some other brush pens I had in my case. These are the Pentel Touch sign pens. I really like them. They've worked really nice. They felt good on this paper. I did a little house down here and a little kind of that's colored pencil. Your pencil crayons. Some blending with Prismacolors. I would try to do a strange perspective. I need to learn. Like I said, I'm still learning. I'm trying to. You'll see all the books I have. Come on. You'll see not all the books, but you'll see a bunch of sketchbooks I have going on, and or books about sketchbooks. And I want to follow one, and I don't know if it should be the right drawing on the right side of the brain. If I should go back and do that all over again. Well, I shouldn't say all over again. I read the whole thing cover to cover, every word, mind blowing. It really changed the way I thought about drawing. It really opened up. I didn't follow all of the. I even have the book, the workbook, but so I don't know if I want to go back and do that or use a different book. Again, so just I've been using a lot of markers, especially Crayola Super Tips, because I have more than one set, and I'm trying to use one of the sets up. You'll see in a bit here. I've also been. Let's talk here about Paul Reubens. This is just cheap Dollarama. No, it's not. It's Craft Smart, I think. Anyways, it's black paint, craft paint. It's not even. It's scraped on. It's not even scraped on evenly. So I have, these are Paul Reubens down here, swatched out, again, on craft paint that wasn't, it's not an even coat. These are Prismacolors. These are all done with Prismacolor crayons. I been following a girl on here too named Super Ray Dizzle. I don't know where I've been on YouTube. These art channels that have like millions of subscribers, like Bailey J and Vex, and what's that other guy's name? I just downloaded his app. Didi was talking about him the other day. Jazzy or something like that. I didn't know about any of these people like since like a month ago, not even. So I've been watching a lot, and she's kind of fun. Super Ray Dizzle, and she shows a video on how to draw a bubble. Or color, anybody can draw a bubble. So that was kind of fun. I don't know how well it looks like a bubble, but that was kind of fun. So the Paul Reubens on top of this, they're very streaky, like what Janet was experiencing. But Janet, are you listening? My girl, put down the water brush. Get out a real brush. I think, I know a water brush, I think for Janet, or for a lot of people, is their go-to thing. But when you were coloring the other day, and I really liked your, the flowers, but because when you're using such a small brush, on the water brush, you're using this tiny little brush and you're trying to color something, paint something like that. I think that's, my girl, I think that's what's frustrating you the most. And like I used a tiny brush, so you see more of the brush marks. And and also what I noticed, and I saw this from somebody else, like one of the, I don't know which was, but there's a lot of watercolorists that say that you should never go right from pan to paper. You should always put it on, even if you're not mixing the color, put it on your palette first to make sure you have the right consistency. If you just take your brush and put it right into the pan and then dip it in the pan and dip it out. Oh my gosh, dip it in the pan and then start painting. Maybe you don't know how much water, you haven't controlled the water. But if you, when I brush on a palette, right, once I put on a palette, you can see the consistency of the paint rather than just going right in the palette onto a page. So especially with these colors. So I went, for example, like, you go right from the palette to a page, you're gonna get like all these different things because it's not the same consistency. Know what I mean, Vern? I don't know if that makes sense. But I don't think it doesn't matter as much necessarily. But I think for all different types of paints, but for the Paul Rubens, these iridescent paints, I really think that might be a big frustration. I loved it. I just didn't want to see you so, Janet, so frustrated with your product. And I mean, I just think that that's why it was making you frustrated. Not what you were doing didn't look good. I think that going from brush, that frustrated you with these paints in particular, because they are tricky business. There are some tricky business. All right, but we're over here back to Wednesday. I really liked how this turned out. This is again just blending color pencil, Prismacolors, kind of like a little malachite crystal or something. Just single color blending, right? Just one. This is just one crayon, pencil crayon. Oh, everybody can do their own thing. Don't get me wrong. I just didn't want her to be frustrated with her nice watercolors. It's not what she did look bad. You could just tell she was frustrated the way that the watercolors were coming off. I did a couple more bubbles over here on black paint. 5-minute face for my new phone. I don't know where that came from. I think that day I might have been reading the new Linda Berry book. And I was using, again, I've been trying to use, this was day 7 of drawing practice. I've been trying to use these markers, Crayola Super Tips. Some of it, so I do a lot of patterns. Sometimes if I don't do anything, I really try to at least draw the day, if I'm too tired. So for example, this is Sunday. I went from Monday, and that's all I did. Sunday was just this. Sorry, this was Saturday. Sunday, all I did was this, and then Monday. So I've been, even if I'm not doing anything, I try to draw the date. So I got again. This is just black craft paint. These are Prismacolor, just the Prismacolor premieres on the black with the tooth. I did these little thumbnails. I just used the Prismacolor, excuse me, Crayola Super Tips, and then I kind of painted, made it look like a painting. I just colored it in and then drew these things. This did not. I was trying to draw a seal. It was bad news all around. Hey, Terry. But what I was drawing, I bought this book, and we're going to get into books in a minute here. I try not to craft the lunch. I bought this ginormous bad boy. Oh, the DK Smithsonian Natural History, the ultimate visual guide to everything on Earth. And this bad boy is ginormous and heavy. I think it's like 7 kilos. I'm not even lying. It is heavy. But all it is, it's all beautiful pictures of things that I can, sketch, or at least, like, there's things in the world, like, I have no idea well, that's an oak tree trunk, but well, these are fossils, but like plant wise, right? You can Google plants, but if you have a book like this, or what I was thinking, so you Google pine tree, but look, I can look at this and say, oh, there's a lodgepole pine, a stone pine, and then you can go, and if you like that particular pine tree, go and Google that tree. Or just draw right from this book. There's jellyfish and all the different, like, I mean, and the quality of the pictures are just like superb. Like, they're perfect. So I've been trying to, that's what this is. I just drew a few things from there, a duck, some tadpoles, a frog's hand. I don't know about, some of them might not even be recognizable. This is an algae. So just this day, just did a little writing. I did a review on my week number 1. I did one face that was terrible. I did lots of pen, pencil, marker, and paint swatches. I did 16 pages. I hand lettered every day of the week. I did at least the day lettering every day. I did, I enjoyed trying some bubbles with colored pencils on black craft paint. I drew once from life, which were those leaves. Did one drawing prompt from a book. I fought pain and numbness from carpal tunnel this past week. I worked afternoons, so I got lots of work done before I got up. This is that one day she gave me of 1 week of afternoons. Then over here, this was this last week, so I didn't do as much. You'll start seeing Tuesday, Thursday. I got some new Prismacolor color erase pencils. Then I had the Labor Day long weekend off, so I was trying to do some goals for my Labor Day long weekend. So I did all this lettering, and I did some watercoloring around it. These are some stickers from a Flow magazine, I think, or Jane Davenport. I'm not sure which one. Hey, Zandra. I read Journal Sparks. So I've been reading a lot of books, like actually reading them, not just looking at pictures, like reading them. So I read Journal Sparks. This is a paper from the book. I took notes. Like this, you see this purple in the background? That's those erasable highlighters. What are they called? Why can't I think of what they're called? I thought I had some. Oh yeah, they're right here. The Frixion. So this is just the purple, and then I just had fun erasing the doodle, erasing it. These are, I swatched out the Prismacolor 36 water soluble colored pencils that I have. They were very creamy. I was actually surprised. I don't know why. I guess I hadn't used them in a while, but they felt very creamy on this paper. This is gouache, the cheap gouache. Did a little, oh, can't even see it. I'm not even in. Did a little paint down here. Thanks, Scooby. Then this was page 8 because the Labor Day long weekend, my goal was 20 pages. Didn't happen. But this was page 8 of the 20 for that. And so I did a whole bunch of, I just Googled the number 8, and all these different, some of them I made up myself, and then others I, was a font that I saw. What did I do over here? Or why, how did this come about? Something to do with the black paint. I think I just dolloped the black paint. But when I scraped it on, kind of the impressions from the pen transferred to the other side. So when I scraped it on, I kind of like that etched look, and then I just drew a few little things with a white pencil in the random blobs. So I did get the book thanks to Zandra and Dee Dee, the Stars Branch Spiral fan. So there was one of them that on page 80, she shows you how to do a spiral shell. One of them ended up looking like an ice cream cone rather than the shell, so I just went with it. Hey, Cheryl. This was Sunday. Here's another one of my Linda Berry monkeys. She's smoking that one. Smoke don'ts. She's smoking smoke don'ts. Anyways, you have to read the book. And then this was a Copic multi-liner brush. The tippet was damaged. I wrote the tip is damaged from writing over paint in an art journal. Just some doodles, and I've challenged myself. You'll see I'm using up I make goals to use up gel pens, so I used up this whole one particular gel pen over here, and I write notes again. So I just the black craft paint I wrote with a white gel pen, but I started coloring with the color erase, Prismacolor color erase, and it was nothing but chalk. Like I would go like this, and the whole thing came off just like chalk. The regular Prismacolor pencils don't do that. So the color erase. I want to say color erase, but it's not. It's called erase. They're chalky. It's really weird. I sprayed it with I sprayed it with hairspray so it wouldn't transfer off. I did this. This is my backyard. So if you're standing at my door, this is what you see in my backyard, the fence, the 2 trees. This is just, I don't know where that came from. It was from a reference though. So just a little thumbnail thing. And oh, this was more from the Spiral Fan, whatever. I did a watercolor, couple of them in. Copic multiliner brush. A little bit of watercoloring here. This was Monday, Labor Day, September 3rd. Random scribbled guy. It didn't, oh no, I got the hiccup, excuse me. I didn't purposely do any of that scribble. It just kind of, later, I was just scribbling with it, and then later I saw anything that's a little bit darker is what I added. I just thought, oh, that looked like an ear. And those kind of look like antlers. And that kind of looks like an eye. Some pattern. Hi, Elemental. So there's a bunny in my backyard. She was there for like 3 days in a row. So I took a couple pictures and then I sketched her. There's a one. Some of them are like, more doodle. Try to be a bit more realistic. Down here, this is a blind contour drawing. That's why it looks a little messed up. And I wrote, which is your favorite of all the different guys? Drew some frames, doodled inside the frames. This is a gel pen I was using up. So those are sparkly gel pen circle wallpaper. This one, Night Donna. Hey, Patty. This is my sketchbook. Just a cheap. It's a sketchbook. It's a Curry's brand, so it'd be similar, I guess, to like the Blick sketchbook, to 8.5 by 11 sketchbook. It was hot. So like I said last week, on Wednesday and Thursday of this week, it was so hot. My friends, it felt 41 degrees Celsius with the humidity, which is like 10 or something crazy. It was hot. And yesterday, it felt like 7 degrees Celsius. So which is what, like 50 something Fahrenheit? Like literally 50-degree diff. Ridiculous. I don't even know how it works. Anyway, so I keep writing some goals. I write down goals and stuff. One of the things, so of these little drawings, this one I traced first. And as you can see that they're Cutter bee scissors, EK Success Cutter bees. So I traced this one first and then drew in the details. And then all these other ones I drew. And I write stupid things. Or I shouldn't say stupid, strange things. At what point is a marker completely dry or just not worth struggling with anymore? I have hundreds of others waiting to be used up. I tested those Meeden, the paints, watercolor paint. This one in this book.
Getting out of here.
All right, see you later.
All right.
And this was, so again, Friday I was so tired. So all I did Friday was just this Friday. And then Saturday, did some random doodles, using up markers. I drew my Faber-Castell Pitt pen, the F that I've been using, my Crayola Super Tip, and the gel pen that I've been using up. And I drew my eraser. This is recent. This is just, Saturday. Saturday. And then Sunday, so yesterday, look what I did, my friends. So I was drawing Sunday and I wrote this and I wrote this, and then I started to write 19. I haven't wrote 19 anything in 18 years. Why would I write 19 instead of 20, like 2018? Isn't that strange? So I have 2 days off, so some of my goals, wrote down some of my goals, and so I did this last night. did this morning. So it was really strange. I mean, the way things happen, I did this while watching Dee Dee this first thing this morning. I woke up at 8:30, and I was watching Dee Dee, and so I did Monday. These are super tips. These are the colors I have left over from one of the sets. I'm trying to use up the set completely. Everybody talk about that hurricane. I'm not even paying attention to chat at all. So Linda Berry, which I'll show you here in a moment. I'll do some quick book flips. I know, probably boring the pants off of everybody, but for some reason, in her book, Picture This, which I'll show in a minute, she uses this. She draws this monkey. She draws the monkey all the time, but this one in like a monk's clothes. She said, she explains in one page of the book that after one of her good friends passed, this monkey showed up, and now she's drawn like thousands of them in the monk type of pose. So I was doing that, and then you go to Janet, and watch Janet, and the first book she shows is a Linda Berry book. So I've been reading a lot of Linda Berry. I also did this. So this is what I did in the morning while watching Dee Dee. Random circles. I did a little bit of black paint. I did some swatching of the Prima shimmering lights. This was Paul Rubin. And then today I glued in this mountain scene because it's so intricate. So pretty much, I mean, that's what I've been focusing on, is this type of stuff more than anything. So real quick, I'll go through a couple of books I've been using and new ones that I have bought. A couple of these Dee Dee showed and made me buy. These first two I watched watching some of her older videos. So she's shown this. She calls them book tubes, book flips. I forget. But I seen this like 8 months ago. She posted about this. Like, I'm like 8 months behind. But hand-drawn lettering, draw, print, paint, Max Marlboro. So it's so as you can see, every day my goal at least is to do the date, draw the day somehow, or illustrate the day, the name of the week. So I had to get this after she started flipping through it, this eye candy. And I'm going backwards. I'm not going to show. She has a whole, that one show that has these two books was a good one. So you can go and look at her in her playlists and look at the book review playlist. But it's fun. The history of it, just like she says, like Dee Dee said in her video, it's just pure eye candy. Just pure eye candy. Even if you don't do an exercise, it's nice to look at. And then she made me buy this one. Sketch Your Art Out, a Skill and Style Activity Guide by Katie Liscombe and Tyler Fisher. And again, I'm going to just do quick through this because she showed it. But it's one of those ones, another kind of a book that has spots and spaces for you to do your stuff there, but it's not very often they do that. So there's lots of spots for you to, so ways to shade. Here's hatching, and then a blank spot for you to practice the hatching. I love this stuff. I don't know why. I mean, like Debbie said, it goes in waves with me. I have so many books of all different types of arts. And right now, it's like I can't get enough books about sketching and drawing and other people's sketchbooks. Well, you'll see. Learning to throw shade, which made me giggle. So a little bit about perspective, but this is a really fun book. It's a activity type book to help you, if you're afraid of that blank page in a sketchbook, it'll help you, you'll add to some of their drawings so that you don't feel maybe as intimidated, or colored their drawings. Some textures, reductive. This is a really nice book. I'm not, like I said, go check out Dee Dee's channel. You'll want to watch that video anyways, because the whole video, look how cool this is. The whole video, there's more books on there. It's really cool. Mixed mediums, gouache, watercolor, colored pencil, acrylic, graphite. See how he makes the whole page in all the different mediums. I thought that was cool. Excuse me. Hand-drawn lettering, draw, print, paint. Oh my gosh. So I'm not by the Reubens Megan book. I'm probably pronouncing her name all wrong. The Art Marks one, it's $30. I need to see it in real life first. That's for sure. Before I buy it. But look, they even have some little ATCs. You can cut them out. You can make your own. These are their ATCs, and they say they're printed, right? Title, Fire and Ice, Katie Lipcomb. If you want to keep those. So I really like this book. I like the aesthetic of it. I guess I like the artist. I like the info. I like any of these type of books. Who am I kidding? Who am I kidding? So Didi made me buy those two books. Again, go check out her channel. It's Inkwell. She has in her playlist there is like a book tube. I think she calls it book tube section. All right, other things I bought. Now I watched a Bailey J book book haul or book review. This is one of them, Color and Light, a guide for the realist painter. Now I did when I research some of these books, I look at people's YouTubes that have and I look at all this and reviews, and for some reason this book on color and light is the best book. Sketchers. So these sketchers say the best book about light and how to convey or understand lighting and color. So this one wasn't cheap. It's not new. I think it was, when was it published? 2010 by James Gurney, creator of Dinotopia. He does there is a bunch of he is a digital artist as well, but the same concepts of color and light I think are at play based if you're doing traditional media or graphic or computer digital stuff, but obviously shows the masters and stuff. But people say it's a really good book. Triads, colored light interactions. Now I haven't looked at it. I haven't read this book at all yet. But there's definitely a lot of. He's a fantasy, painter. Like, look how cool that is. I didn't even see that before. It's like one of those things at the. What's that? Is it Epcot? The monorail thing at Disney. But at the same time, it's a cruise ship. Monorail, 1987, oil on canvas mounted to panel. Used on the cover of Citizen Fade, Ace Books. The Mud Debate, limited palette. So anyways, like I said, the research that I did of a bunch of different, well-liked artists or experienced artists is that this is the best book on color and light. He has more than one book. There was another one of his that I wanted that I have not gotten because they aren't cheap. Pigment information here in the back. It is a big book, my friends. I don't know if you wanted me to flip through every page. If I flip through every page of all these books, we'd be here all night. Anyways, he has more than one book. I can't. There's another one of his that I want. Anyway, I've been looking at that. I also got this one. You see some flags. I started reading this one. Sarah Simblett. She is the author that has that book. It's on my to-do list. The Botanical Drawings. It's a DK book. Botanical Drawings for Artists or something like that. Does it say? She has another DK book. I want to say it's either the anatomy one that everybody says you need. There's two more anyways, DK books that I want. This is the sketchbook one. And, this may not be, I don't know what's in here, may not be safe for work. So this one is just Why did I mark that? Talk about bird studies. Vision, alchemy, feeling the hand, Picasso painting with light. Then it goes into different types of papers and brushes and media and the posture. And this section on animals. There's lots of words in this book, and a lot of it's obviously just not her. It's a collection of Da Vinci and multiple. Well, that's George Stubbs. That's George Stubbs, not Da Vinci. Excuse me. And this is Albert Dürer. Albrecht. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right either. Presence and mood, movement, pen and ink, drawing with ink, capturing character. This is kind of like what Dee Dee was talking about with the show sheet or her Sunrise Earth stuff. See, this is interesting to me because I have no idea where to start half the time. So seeing something like this, okay, here's a dog I want to draw. Where do I even start? Like I wouldn't know where we'll start. So seeing a progression of how an artist starts with, okay, this basic line and then adding more and more detail, that's interesting to me. Plants. So I mean, I'm not sure. I guess it's a combination of information, and there are some exercises. That's Mondrian, Piet Mondrian, graphite, cropping and composition, a viewfinder, native space. Architecture, urban sketching still really interests me. I have a lot of books on urban sketching. It is always in single point perspective. So there are exercises, and it's definitely a nice reference book. Exercises plus looking at a bunch of master stuff, and it's just all eye candy. Objects and instruments. We have a little cubism. Cubism appeals to me too. I like the look. This is Robert Hooke. What is this? The eye and head of a drone fly. Van Gogh. Light. So here's then their an illusion. How to draw ellipses. Again, this is one of the books I searched. Am I going so fast that my camera's going in and out of focus? So the body, this may not be some not so safe for work stuff. Foreshortening, gesture drawings. Portraiture. It's just there's Basquiat. There's just so much interesting things in here of all different drawing styles, and I don't know, to me this type of book is, I love it. Not too bad, which means yes. Cloth, costumes, femme fatales, colored materials. So then it goes felt tip pens, colored pencils. Look at those cute shoes. Studies. I don't know why all this, again, like I said, I keep saying the same thing over there, appeals to me so much right now. There's a calligraphy. Not some of these ones in the back are just like flipping through people's sketchbooks. Gods and monsters. It's definitely an interesting, an innovative, practical approach to drawing the world around you. But she has more than one book. Like I said, there's a botany for the artist, I think is what it's called. That's a botany for the artist I want from her. All right. Another one. This one's pretty cool. Sketch Your Stuff. 200 Things to Draw and How to Draw Them by John Stitch. I just got this last week. It was published in it's a Corey book, 2016. I'll show you. I like his style, which I guess is important when you're buying a book on sketching and stuff, is if you like what their style is. So he talks a little about tools, color mixing. Then the first section of things to draw is in the studio. So the first is seeing shapes. So the first is a contour, not contour drawing. Is it a contour drawing? Anyways, a drawing of positive and negative space. Draw the negative space around things. Very simple step all the way to the colored finished product. I mean, I like these. I guess I'm so new at this type of stuff. I need to see, or the way my mind works, I'd like to see all the different step outs. Building value. Got a perspective issue. Here's a tissue. So I talk about vanishing points, ellipses and cylinders. Figure drawing with the mannequin. Drawing cameras. Things drawn on your desk. Draw your own hand. Like, I don't know, I have 20 to 30 books on drawing, and almost every one of them says to draw your hand. Trash talking, crumples and folds. So I guess these are good ways to while you may want to immediately dispose of a crumpled paper or dirty oil rags, they actually make wonderful subjects for practicing folds and drapery. Start with the basic lines that you see and don't get caught up in all the details. Once you've established major lines, add value to give definition, which will provide clues as to the light source and hence the crumples and folds. But in the early stages, keep the values to a range of light, mid, and dark. And again, it goes, you have a piece of crumpled up rag. I'm like, I don't know, where would I start to, show all the folds? So it's nice to see just how they start from the beginning. Facial anatomy. I did, Dorothy, in the drawing on the right side of the brain. 2-point perspective typewriter. Anyways, in the kitchen. Pots and pans. Drawing this to teach you about reflections. Glassware. That's what I meant about, I don't think I explained it right, but when I was watching Joyce's yesterday, the way that all of her distress oxide pads were stacked up on her desk at the angle that it was, all I could think about was like, I wonder how to draw that to make it look like, or so that you could convey that the ink pads were all stacked up and it was like on a leaning tower. Like it's that's what they say. Drawing is about changing the way you see more than any type of skill. Just change the way you see. Everybody needs to draw a package of sausages. Hi, Marie. Donuts. Sketching gadgets. I like his style. I like this, like I said, Danny Gregory drawing every day, sketching your life. All that type of urban sketching. I love all that type of stuff. Beer labels. Then it goes into some color demystifying in the bedroom. Pattern. 9.5 pairs of cool glasses. How to, draw shirts from the simplest sketch to the coloring. Dog. So this is a really nice book. I was quite pleased with it in real life. Drawing a rubber ducky. Toothpaste. cacti. So lots of things. There aren't step outs for absolutely everything, but it's a nice book. I was happy with this one. This one I would buy again. Maybe not for the bugs. Leaves, walking dogs. Yeah, Sketcher stuff. 200 Things to Draw and How to Draw Them by John Stitch. I like his book. I like his work. And then I bought a couple of books that are just replications of an artist's sketchbook. So it's just eye candy. There's no instruction in here, just inspiration. All my photos are made with pens by Tommy Kane, Kane. So this is a sketchbook. And so all of the imagery is his drawing. Shows his camera, which is a Uniball Vision Fine Pen. He drew that. So if you like this kind of stuff, I really, I just love looking at people's sketchbooks. Welcome, Lolly. So he was on a photo shoot, like he was drawing photographers. Then you'll see instead of taking pictures, he was drawing the models. A bunch of different faces. So this book, just eye candy. If you like his style, I'll kind of just do it a little bit quickly. He has more than one book. But see, my sketchbook is definitely not like this. It's not. I like how he overlaps everything, though. I mean, like, I would just love to see this in real life and look at it up close. He takes notes like these animals. I have a headache from chasing salmon around all day long. He's got some aspirins, Bayer aspirin beside it. A giraffe with a tangled neck. A Canada moose. Pen and ink. Ballpoint pen. Let's quickly go through some of these. Oh, look at that pug. Where does that pug? Hey, Asha. I don't know if this is interesting to anybody else, but I love it. Then he goes into where he did his urban sketching. Oh, I just love the look of urban sketching. Look at this close-up of drawing mustard. King Tut is at the Metropolitan Museum of Art, it says there. Look how awesome that is. Oh, man. So he was at the museum and he would just draw things over top. See, he doesn't end up, when he draws one thing on top of another, he doesn't end up looking like some woman has big fake boobs. When I try to draw Bunsen Beaker on top of something else, this guy, oh boy. Oh, there's Kermie, speaking of Muppets. Ruby Slippers of Wizard of Oz. The Museum of American History. Some cars. Like that is a feat. This crumpled up can to study like all the shading that goes in each of the divots, like the specific folds in these crumpled up cans. That's a lot of work. That's just something that probably be good practice to get a crumpled up can and then to shade all your different values. People on planes. Tower of Pisa. more urban sketching. I just love his style. When I saw somebody review this book, I said, I love almost every page. I need it. Because I like to really study a picture. I find it very interesting. I don't know when it, New Orleans Freaks, it says. What the heck? I don't know if this is all obviously not chronological, but I don't know if it's how many different books, how long, is this 1 year of work? Is this 10 years of work? At the shore, people park in the unusual places. Spots around the globe. So that's just people urban sketching. Some of them are definitely have a comic book feel on it. I like how he incorporates the writing. He's got Danny Gregory. Danny Gregory is a really good friend of mine. We've known each other 20 something years. He is a big shot in advertising who shoots the really big zillion-dollar commercials. He's a brilliant writer. He's also a huge influence on my drawing. DannyGregory.com website. He started to help others draw, paint, write, journal, and just free themselves. Wonder Woman. Who's Anthony Bourdain? Anyway, I'm not going to go through this. I'll be here all night. But if you like his style, this is the most beautiful eye candy book. And I don't think it was that. Welcome, Angel. I don't think it was. Well, I lied. It says it was $40, but I think I paid. Yeah, maybe I paid $30 for it. But it's a big book. All my photographs are made with pens. Tommy King. So remember I was saying something about, do I want to follow a book? Those are all my newer books. I showed this one last time. That's all the books I've bought recently, or things that have inspired me. I'm reading this one this weekend. Dare to Sketch, but I like Felix S.H. Scheinberger. He has another book, urban sketching book, Watercolor. I absolutely love. So Dare to Sketch, where is it? He should show it over here somewhere. Urban watercolor sketching. So I like his style. I mean, his style is probably not everybody's style. Hey, Jan. But he's another, urban sketcher, believes in drawing every day and drawing what you see and drawing what's around you. So this is all about doodling will set you free. A sketchbook is not only for documenting your surroundings, it also gives you the space to chronicle your imagination. Create a double page of freedom now and then. Let your drawing take you away. Right and wrong ways to draw, pens, color pencils, ballpoint pens. Look how cool that is. So I have a bunch of different books, and I want to kind of follow a book. I want to sit there and do all the prompts. Right now I'm looking at a bunch of different books. I'm taking, I'll do this prompt out of one book and that prompt out of another book, but I kind of want to follow one start to finish and really try to improve my skills, whether that be drawing on the right side of the brain or not. There's also this one Drawing a Day by Veronica Lawler. I've had this one for a long time. It's also these Quarry books. They also have that one Watercolor a Day. So this one might be fun to follow along with. So day 1, first steps. basically just drawing what's in front of you with, butterfly roses, chalice. So it's a prompt a day, but there is supposed to be some type of progression to it. Bamboo pen. So the first section is pretty much just on mark making, and then I think it goes into mark making with different tools like graphite, and this one is pen and ink. Then you go into playing with color on different days. Watercolor. So I haven't read this one. Before I decide I want to read that one front to back, I've had that bad boy for a while. I've had this one for a while too, and I just refound it. Playing with Sketches by Whitney Sherman. 50 creative exercises for designers and artists. This one was published in 1919. Listen, why do I keep saying 19? 2014. I really like this. I was reading it in bed last night. This, again, it was one of the books. This Lapin, oh, I want one of his books so bad. There's one called Paris. There's two. Paris Sketchbook or something, and this is what it looks like inside. He does all of his sketches in ledgers. And there's one just for Paris. There's one like Venice and Paris, and yeah, if there's something wrong, this is the first time I've streamed on YouTube, so bear with me. Different tools. Some drawing calisthenics. Everybody needs some calisthenics. 50 exercises. Parallel lines. So this is one that I like these type of exercises. So there's textures. Again, this book has a ton of different type of artists. That was some good English right there. This is multiple artists. Frottage, just some rubbings. That's so interesting. I remember doing that when we were in like grade 6 or 7, going with graphite or charcoal stick and doing gravestone rubbings. So this is another fun book. It's got all different prompts. Like for this day, conceptual apps. I better just go from front to back. Reductive drawing with paper. Collage. This was cool. I thought this was cool. It's called Entopic Graphomania. Many of the surrealist games can seem quaint to artists today. I think these surrealist games are fun. So in this case of Entopic Graphomania, the artist was to discover the impurities on a piece of paper, place dots on the impurities, and draw connections between the dots. This was considered an automatic drawing, one originating from elements out of your control. With paper surfaces improved, the abandonment of control in this exercise is removed, and the exercise needs revamping. So basically, I guess back in the day, the paper had more impurities than they do now. So to substitute for paper with impurities, use vintage paper or paper that has been recycled a bunch of times. Use junk mail. Use printed out email no longer than one page. Use a page from a book. But you just put in a dot, and then you're just seeing what random patterns come about. Tracing, doodling, and mini drawings. So sketches can be multiple things. It doesn't have to be like just one beautiful, immaculate drawing on every page, right? Like it's a bunch of different things. Making patterns. Mark making again. Bundled tools. This reminded me of Jane, or LJ Cat Feather Jane. I hope she's around and doing well. where she took the straws, not straws, the broom, the bristles from a broom, and then tied them around with an elastic band to tied the bristles of her broom with an elastic to make, splatter marks. That's what we my bundled tools. Found objects, like collage, non-dominant hand drawing. Oh, I'm gonna sneeze. Simon bought a new pillow and I think I'm allergic to it. Cubomania. This is that Mobius strip. I saw this in another book recently. Mobius. It's a long, let's see. And in this example, she's drawn on it. So a Mobius strip, I don't even know how to pronounce that right, named after the 19th century German mathematician and astronomer August Ferdinand Mobius, is a non-orientated single-sided surface with only one boundary. This continuous surface makes it an interesting surface on which to draw. Moritz Cornelius Eskerer, I can't even pronounce that stuff. Anyways, what what makes drawing on this shape so interesting is the potential to create stories of images that defy the usual two-dimensional surfaces. The continuous surface allows us to think of one thing morphing into another or on a magically shaped object. It also brings two-dimensional work visually into the third dimension. I have to play with that. Draw a process. So kind of like comic book strips. That's cool. My mom has a cookbook. Oh man, I need to write the name down again. And the whole cookbook uh, is all somebody's illustration like this. Every recipe is drawn, illustrated. It is so cool. I don't think it was found in like the cookbook section. It wasn't. It, I mean, obviously it's an art book, but it's sold as a cookbook, not an art book. So cool. And it wasn't just one. Oh, I need to get her now. I'll have to text her later, because it's not just one artist. It's like a bunch of artists submit their recipes. I don't know if they submitted their recipes, but a bunch of different artists illustrated the recipes. How to make a perfect Bloody Mary. How to fillet a salmon. It's a cool book. Reminds me of that. Shoot. Let's drink some coffee. Setting goals. One day, one theme. So I love these ones. Well, I guess because of their coffee cups. I love how it says it's wonky, but that's like my favorite one. And I love seeing people's pictures of drawn art supplies. I love seeing drawn art supplies. That's why you'll see. I've been trying to do it more because I love looking at other people. So I figure I should draw my own. 100 monsters. 365 days of drawing. Then it goes into lettering, line drawing, channeling Matisse. I read that last night. It talks about how Matisse, when he was getting older, he would lay in bed, or he would lay and he had this long, ginormous stick with a pencil attached to it that he would write on the wall with this long stick when he couldn't stand for long. Lots of lettering stuff interests me as well. Janet, did you see that there's a book on Amazon about vintage candy? Excuse me. I think that It made me think of you, and because it showed like all the wrappers and stuff, because I know you like that lettering. Word chains, that's pretty cool. You need a partner for that. Lists. Sketch out your lists. So this is a cool book too. I obviously have a bunch of likes when it comes to books, but I do like books that have different artists in them as well. Somebody drew this Sky Mall catalog on a plane. So it's a nice book too. Again, I've had this one for a while and it just got lost in the shuffle of everything around here. Because I guess it's going to get lost in the shuffle. I just didn't pick it up because I was all of a sudden really obsessed with all the watercolors. So I was, reading all the watercolor books. I also have this one I found, Freehand. I've had this for a while too. Sketching tips and tricks drawn from art. I have a few in this series of this little book. They're made by Chronicle Books. There's a watercolor one I have as well. So it's one of those books that have, I don't know, prompts with the right thing. So drawing with paper. So for example, this is by K. I can't pronounce that. By repeating these simple and spontaneous cat heads and giving each one unique features, K. Blegvad had created a charming group of feline faces. The starting point for this collage was her range of papers. Her cat head motif is basically the same form, repeated 8 times. She made the outline drawing with a pair of scissors without guidelines, giving these first shapes a natural immediacy. She added the black and white facial features with a similar flourish, such lively doodles. So she just cut random shapes and then drew faces on it. So it's a colored background. It's another one of the prompt type of things. Wow, somebody cut that? Look at that, my friends. Whew. We think of a drawing as being a line or lines made on paper. For this hanging gown, they used a craft knife to cut negative shapes from the paper, making the image emerge. Oh, wow. All of that is hand cut. Now that is some fussy cutting, my friends. Woo! Man, my fingers hurt just looking at that. People watching. So all these fun books, I think. And then I got these ones I thought I could work in. I spilled coffee on this bad boy. 5-minute sketching, architecture, people. They have a new one, cats and dogs, but I haven't bought it. I think I have another one of them too. They're 5 books. This one was from 2016. But they're laid out, well, this one's on how to see. So they're laid out in like one kind of exercise. There's like one, let me see if this one makes more sense than the people sketching. Right? Basic proportions of bodies, measuring heads, torso shape, side view. Then this one's basic arms and legs. Easy facial features. Hair in a hurry. So there's like a little different mini lesson on each thing. Focus on foreshortening. There's a new dogs one out too. Dogs and cats. I'm trying to see. There's more than one 5-minute sketching anyways. This one's Pete Scully. Liz Steele is the one for architecture. And I just love Liz Steele, especially if it comes to urban sketching. So this one says on bridges. And then last but not least, if anyone ever, I haven't shown them in a while and I just want to bring them out again, some of my absolute most favorite books. I know Colleen for sure. I know a bunch of us have a few of them because I've had them for a while and I've shown them more than once. But the first one I bought Notes on Color, and then I bought Notes on Visual Elements and Principles, and lastly Notes on Type. They're by Rose Canella. They're not cheap books. Design Fundamentals, Notes on Color Theory. This is the first one, but I love, so basically it's a class, and the illustrators have illustrated what they learned in the class. So it's like it's their sketchbooks based on what they learned. So it is absolute. I just these are my favorite books. Probably some of my favorite. We see the world around us because of the existence of light. Sight is the interaction between light, physics, eyes, brain, biology. So you learn something. This one talks about, you're learning. It's a class on light and color. Oh, I bought something from Shoppers Drug Mart. What did I buy this day? A magazine that cost $11.99. Some President's Choice candy, Tide liquid pods, and Finish Quantum dishwasher soap. There was a cool. I just saw some RGB. I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but I just love how they actually illustrate the entire course. They're not cheap books, but if you like this kind of thing and you like seeing, a history of color wheels, look how cool that is. Triads, dyad, analysis. I just absolutely love these books. The type one, so visual elements and principles, and I'll just quickly kind of flip. You learn something too. It's not just all eye candy. It's an actual class that they've dot an element. So I guess a dot is an element. So it's the difference between a dot and a line, and lines are natural, lines are branches of trees, lines define zebras and tigers and seashells, lines describe the age of a human face, lines communicate through letters, icons, and symbols, lines are manufactured of wire, string, and filament, lines transport us by streets, roads, rivers, and tracks, lines organize information through graphs, charts, and floor plans. Lines are not always physical. The edges of objects are lines. Define the edge between objects such lines define the edge between objects such as where sky meets water. Lines form the bus stop on a bus city street. Lines factor significantly in our everyday lives and environment. It's just interesting. Very right angles, hatching. Line is basic to drawing. Gestural or calligraphic lines. An implied line is not an actual line. Implied lines form in the mind's eye of the viewer. The human eye and mind seek to fill in the space between the series of dots to complete the line. It's cool stuff. So, and then I think Janet would like this one the most. Notes on type. It talks about writing. There's a difference. Type is not writing, and letters are not. Letters are drawing, but I think Janet would like this one in particular, obviously, because of the lettering. Engraved initial letter. Obviously starts from, how we went from like pictographs to written word. A lot of typography and how typography is different than type term word search. Ascender, baseline, vowel, cap height, cap line. You do a word search on words. But I'm buying, speaking of library, I'm buying a couple new bookshelves for my living room just for art books. Because they're just stacks everywhere now, and they're all over the place. Some of them are on the dark side of my room. Some of them are over here. Some of them are in there. Some of them are in the bed. I want them all in one spot. So I'm just buying some from I'm gonna get some hopefully here in a couple of weeks from IKEA. But that's what's been inspiring me lately. I think I've shown everything I've wanted to show. I did not because I was going to show. I did buy some books, so I have Kobo. I which is like Kindle. Uh, so I downloaded the Amazon Kindle app, and I don't know. I'll have to see this glare wise because I want to show my new phone. I don't know it. Uh, I'll look at my library. I did buy a couple things in my library. So I did sign up for, what do they call it? Amazon uh, Kindle Unlimited. So this one, how to draw cool stuff. Ah, habit stacking. That's not art related. How to draw cool stuff. I'm still trying to get used to my phone. Forgive me. It looks like this. So this is on the Amazon Unlimited, which I think is what, $6.99? Night, Dorothy. So instead of buying the book, but I always say some art books I won't buy digital, but it's free anyways. Well, it's not really free. You know what I mean, Vern. So I have that book. It's about shading. There's two books in that series. Getting ready to draw, line quality, foreshortening, contour lines, cylinders, and discs. So maybe this is one that I could go. Maybe I'll start step by step with. I want to choose one of the books I have that I can go front to back. So of course I had to buy the 101 textures and colored pencil. Thanks to Janet, because it was only $2.99 in the digital form versus 20 something dollars. The 101 textures in colored pencil, 101 textures in graphite and charcoal. Some of these are samples. So I did buy the Keys to Drawing by Robert. Let me just try to. My tablet wasn't charged, or I would have showed it on here. Yeah, so Keys to Drawing by Bert Dodson. It's a Northlight book. Some of them they're just so much cheaper. But like I wouldn't buy a watercolor book. I like to see things. I like the book in my hand, but there are some, you know, if the difference is between buying a book that's $1.99 and $30, there's, there's Keys to Drawing. I bought a book called Drawing for Joy. Dang it. I'm still got used to this phone and this Kindle app. I'm trying to. Drawing for Joy, 15-minute daily meditations to cultivate drawing skill and unwind with color by Stephanie Peterson Jones. And again, this is another one that when I bought it, it was like, $2.99 versus a $20 book. But it's one of those that it's got step-by-step stuff. But normally I would read it on my 10-inch tablet. Or I guess I could read it on my Chromebook here. But you can so this is draw the fence and add the wood grain. You can really zoom into any of this stuff when you're on a digital, in an ebook. Bought a book called The Power of Creativity. shading techniques, that Thinker Toys, another one Dee Dee made me buy. Drawing for Beginners, a guide to, where did it go? The complete guide to learn the basics of pencil drawing. So the Amazon Kindle, the Kindle Unlimited, it has quite a few books on drawing, a lot actually. So, but it's nicer to look at in a bigger screen. Obviously, I mean, the screen of my phone's pretty big, but the only thing about ebooks, depending on the size of the font, like things are off the page, right? Like, so this negative space, and then see on the bottom it says perspective, that next topic, this perspective, this page, these two pages are probably different in the real book. Like, they're laid out funny. You don't get to see everything on one page. I don't know if I'm explaining that right. I can't use my words tonight. So I did buy a couple of drawing books on there, just because they were a lot cheaper. I bought these cool books. This one's on philosophy. They were uh, like on super sale. The philosophy book, Big Ideas Simply Explained. And I know it's a DK book. My hand is not. My hand's shaky. Anyway, that's all excitement going on over here. I still can't figure out how to use this new phone. I shouldn't say still could. It's. Oh, look at this. So this book. What was this? How to Draw Cool Stuff. I guess I liked this. The Impossible Heart. It's not going to focus. Well, that's what it looks like in the end once it's shaded. That's cool. But that's something you need to see on a bigger screen, or I would. The Impossible Hexagon. Endless Staircase. This I'm definitely in. That was in the 3D. An Hourglass. And then if I like it, some books, like art books, I like it. I like to have the physical book. Mostly when I've read e-reader. What I had the e-reader has always been the just novels and stuff, rather than clogging my shelves and everything. It's good to, it's okay to have it on the e-reader. But if it's an art book, I like to see it in person. But that's it. It's what I've been doing. It's what I've been obsessing over and reading, and that's it. I've been here. I don't. Hopefully, I didn't bore anyone to death. Been here a couple. 2.5 hours. So it's been fun. I'm gonna go eat some dinner. I didn't get to see Simon, but I'll see him tomorrow. Yeah, I have been thinking I really need, which would mean I'd have to get another new computer and a new camera, because this, if I were to do YouTube videos again, I know this focusing thing, I would get the worst hate mail. Not that I really care if anyone gives me hate mail, but if I want to be a little bit more successful, say on YouTube, I would need to get that type of stuff. But I really want to do like a booktube, like a book review a week or something like that. I don't mean a full out 2 hour whatever. I mean, like, here's a 10-15 minute video, flip of the book, because there just aren't enough of them out there. For me, anyways. If you're going to pay $30 for a book, or $20 to $30 for a book, I want to make sure. What the heck is floating in my coffee? Oh, a grind from my K-cup. Anyways, I shall see everyone sometime tomorrow. I don't know how well this YouTube live thing went. It'll be interesting. I never watch my videos back. It just is something I've never done. I should probably go back and read the chat because I haven't paid too much attention to that tonight. So yeah, I've been doing a little bit of art and a lot. Oh, but I didn't even show my Paula. In case you didn't see Janet, real quick. These are my Linda Berry books that I have. The What It Is one, I'm not sure if I have it or not. I'll have to go to the dark side. But this is syllabus, the first one. I just found it at Chapters. I just saw it on the shelf and I looked at it a while ago now, a couple years ago. And I'm like, wow, it looks like a composition book. I like composition books. And so that's why I bought it. But Janet showed it today. This one, syllabus, Notes from an Accidental Professor. It's a book about. She's illustrated her course, her drawing, creativity, creative writing course. She taught. What was interesting about this, real quick, is that she talks a lot about if you read, and I've got flags all over the place. The first thing she does in the class is make and this book was from 2000 or the class that she's showing. I want to say 2008, something like that. Anyways, the big thing to her is coloring. She has coloring book pages and in her class, and she makes her students coloring book pages every day, for every class, and she really believes in it's just amazing. I read, and I'm telling you, I read every one of these words, everything in a whole day. I just loved everything about it. And then I saw this book. I just got this one last week. And I read it within a day, the same thing. And of course, that her monkey. I was showing that, yeah. So this is what I was using. It says, my mother found comfort in coloring books after the war, even as a young adult. She was balanced when she was hand coloring, not happy, not sad, free of that. Color crayon is hand motions over pictures of cute animals made a way for her. Is making a picture and coloring a picture something other than art? What is the difference between drawing and singing? In terrible times, people sing. That can be said no other way. No, in terrible times, people sing things that can be said no other way. Mourners sing, music makes a way. It's not a way out, but a way in. Where do you go when you color? Where can a brush take you? Can it take you to the singing place? But that's what she was showing, all like the monkeys, the monkeys. But it's very interesting when she talks about coloring books, and she was well before the time and why it's so beneficial. I can't recommend. I mean, some people don't really like, but the information, even if you don't like this style, I guess, the information, it's the way, I mean, it's portrayed in a different way, but it's very interesting. I've learned a lot in both of her books. Now I just need the other ones. But yes, Linda Berry, as you saw in my sketchbook, I'm going to read this one. Oh, I'm going to read them both again. But I was really enjoyed her insights and her thoughts. And she has some YouTube videos. That are interesting. So anyway, now I think I'm done. Now I have all these books in here rather than out by the couch. So now I have to figure out which ones I'm bringing back out there. You didn't do one of the monkeys in your beast yet, Janet. Oh, disappointed. Even I have 2 monkeys. Did you see the other one of the one I drew as she was smoking? The smoke don't monkey? I'm looking for my sketchbook and I can't find it. I know it's somewhere around here. Oh, it's under the ginormous Smithsonian book. Or my other smoke don't monkey. Where'd you go? There's my other smoke don't monkey. These were from a sketch from Amazon sample of Jenny Doe's Craft-A-Doodle. There's not, and that's the thing, like, if you go, so I always use my phone for everything, right? But when you're on the phone on Amazon, the pictures that it shows, when we're talking about books anyways, it doesn't show like the look in the inside of this book. I go and I go request desktop site on my phone because I do everything on my phone. And then it then you can click on it and says look inside the book and you can see the preview of like some books. Well, you only get a couple pages. Other books like almost half the book or more. So I was on Amazon and I was looking at Jenny Doe's Craft-A-Doodle in the look inside, like if you were looking on your computer or something else, not like on the app or on a mobile site. And so it shows some of the drawing exercises. So one of them was drawing this little guy, and another one was drawing some of these owls. These are all, that's just gel pen, shiny sparkly gel pen. But anyways, guys, like I said, my Linda Berry, that's what started this whole make me get out my sketchbook again, pretty much, was reading Syllabus, that Linda Berry book on August 16th. So I'll bring this back out. What else should I bring back out and read tonight? So I'll see everybody tomorrow. I'm probably going to go to my mom's house. Do a few errands. I'm going to go eat dinner. Thanks everyone for being here. I know it's been a long time. That's for sure. That's what thanks everyone for a little bit of catch up. Colleen, 3 books in your cart. I'm in my cart right now. The books in my cart are, well, there's a lot in my like save for later items, but the ones I really want right now is where's my cart? I'll show you. The What It Is, but see, I don't know if I already have What It Is by Linda Berry. The Draw Your Day Inspiring Guide. Xandra showed it the other night. 365 Days of Art. Tombow Mono Zero Eraser. It's like this 2mm. It's this like tiny eraser. Curious Nature Guide. Explore the natural wonders all around. And if you're bored with watercolor, read this book. Here's what I mean about this. If you're on Amazon, this is Amazon.ca. If you're bored with watercolor, read this book. Right? This is it. It has this picture and that picture, and that's it. But if I go up here and go to the desktop site, well, this is not the right one too. Dang it, there's no pictures in that one. But if you go, well, this is Everyday Watercolor, which I have and like, but it shows the full, look inside preview. Multiple different pages. But if I'm looking at Amazon on my phone and I stay on the regular mobile site, you only get to see 4 pages, 5 pages. That's just a tip. So if I'm looking for a book and I want to see the inside, either I go on something else or on my cell phone, I request the desktop site so that I can do the look inside and actually see more pictures than what's there. But anyways, guys, talk to you later. I need to know which ones they are, Colleen. Bye, everyone.